think I may just pull out my unsafe sect picket sign and display that because it's so much more visible. It's always a good morning when I'm accused of blasphemy, you know that. Doesn't get better than that. So that's Harvey Shepherd, former religion columnist for the Montreal Gazette. Religion columnist who actually did some pretty good stories about my efforts to establish interreligious celebration of creation back in the mid-90s. Harvey did a reasonably good job of reporting that in his religion column, but you know, when I was accused of being psychotic and trying to start a cult by Reverend Ray Drennan and some other Montreal Unitarians, all of a sudden Harvey wasn't so keen on publishing that aspect of the story in his religion column. To the best of my knowledge, Harvey Shepherd never at any time wrote a proper column about the anti-religious intolerance and bigotry and related clergy misconduct and so on that I'd encountered at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. To the best of my knowledge, he wasn't a member of the church at the time. He joined later. The only thing I can remember in terms of the Gazette publishing anything in that column was, I think, around the new year. And I can't remember which year it was, but there was just a photo of the protest, and it was a pretty lame photo. It was basically an overview, you know, like a view of the whole church with me on the sidewalk, like just a small little blip in the photo, and it just sort of mentioned my protest in passing kind of thing. Didn't really say what it was about or go into any kind of detail. So, you know, the Gazette has not really done a proper news report about this protest ever. So, just finishing up my semi-warm coffee here. I'm surprised it's not completely cold, but still actually moderately warm. And then we'll go back to circulating. Morning. Lots of cars. Quite a few cars. Oh yes, they're looking at the signs, trying to read them. And that's another reason why I think I might want to pull out my unsafe sect picket sign. But it's very pithy. You know, just 2 words and boom, you know. It's hard to read, you know, everything that's on the 2 picket signs in my hand when you're driving by in a car. So I think what I'm going to do, now that I've finished my coffee, is change up the signs a little bit. We're going to have the unsafe sect picket sign, and we're going to have the Unitarians are accusing me, oh no, perversion of justice, that sounds pretty good. So let's see here. So we've got Unitarian Universalists misuse blasphemy law to cover up in the night pedophilia and rape displayed here. Anyone approaching from the west will see that, and you know, any pedestrian will have time to read it if they want. And let's see now. In my right hand I have unsafe sect, and I think I'll display the sign that says Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice sucks you asterisk you in my left hand. So, you know, the unsafe sect picket sign will be very, very easy to read, and you know, I think people will quickly pick up on the perversion of justice part of the other sign. So yeah, we'll display these for a while, primarily for the passing car traffic, which seems to be Yeah, fairly regular. Yeah. I'm surprised actually at how much traffic there is for Sunday, but what it is, I think, is there's a lot of construction going on in Montreal. Certain roads are not accessible, so it may be that this is a more popular route. Ouais, merci. So this woman's looking at my picket sign. She was looking specifically at the one that said Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice sucks. You asterisk you. And she said, c'est beau. In other words, it's good. So, and yes, it's good to protest Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice. To say nothing of other Unitarian Universalist problems. So here we go, bunch of cars, and we'll see how they can miss seeing the unsafe sex picket sign. Got some coming this way. So yes, definitely quite a bit of traffic for a Sunday. This is not typical, and I suspect it's due to various road closings. You know, this is an alternative route that people are taking. The Maisonneuve Boulevard, you know, is certainly this is sort of like the western extremity. I mean, it continues on, but after they carry it, sort of goes down to just a smaller two-lane street. It's more of a boulevard here. That wind is really blowing the signs. It's very hard. Really should maybe get some bungee cords. Thinking out loud here. All right, that wind is. There it goes. I might have to ditch the freestanding picket signs if you keep getting blown down. Yeah, it says steady breeze here. Okay, so we shall. Okay, we got some customers here, I think, perhaps. Yes, these are regular attendees of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. Some of them, anyway. One of them, anyway. So the guy's saying we have time. It's like 10 to 11, so service has been going on for 20 minutes, but not unusual for Unitarian Universalists to be late showing up for Sunday services because, they just don't take their religion very seriously when it gets right down to it. Turning up late for Sunday services is perhaps, one of the least problematic ways in which Unitarian Universalists don't take their religion very seriously. One of the worst ways is they just fail miserably to practice, the comparatively few principles and ideals that Unitarian Universalism preaches. Respect for the inherent worth and dignity of every person, first principle. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, second principle. Acceptance of one another and encouragement of spiritual growth, third principle. Free and responsible search for truth and meaning, fourth principle. Fifth principle, use of the democratic process in our churches and society at large, and also right of conscience is in there. And then sixth principle, sort of a rehash of the earlier ones, basically promoting justice and peace and so on in the world. And then the seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence. And, they just fail miserably to live up to those principles on a ongoing basis, especially in terms of you know, this particular protest. Got a little nod there. So, and a few people. Oh, those are the people that were going in earlier now coming out. So, make sure that they get to see the signs here. Oh, I think I heard the blonde woman say, "Oh, he's sick." Did I hear you say I'm sick?
No, she said that about sick.
Okay. The reason I asked is because Unitarian Universalists are regularly saying I'm mentally ill and so on. So, yeah, no, I understand. She read the sign. Yeah. What? Unsafe sect. It's a little play on words there. So, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Just like within the last hour, somebody said I was malade. So, yeah. So just a little mishearing. So these people who showed up earlier, you know, I'm standing like 30 odd feet away, certainly more than 20, and then I hear sect. You know, it sounded like sick to me. I only heard the sick. I didn't hear her say unsafe. If I had heard the unsafe, I would understand. But it just, all I heard was like sect. It sounded like she was saying I'm sick. So I just wanted to deal with that because this protest actually began with Reverend Ray Drennan and other members of the Unitarian Universalist religious community in Montreal saying that I was seriously mentally ill, specifically psychotic. My protest began as a protest against the malicious pathologization, if I can coin a term, of yours truly. Labeling me as psychotic because I'm claiming a quite profound religious experience, part of the anti-religious intolerance and bigotry that's so common in Unitarian Universalist churches. I'm talking about the hypocrisy. I'm talking about how Unitarian